Let me tell you something that is going to change the way you look at your morning cup forever. For nearly 5,000 years, green tea has been one of the most celebrated health drinks on the planet. Ancient monks drank it to sharpen their minds before hours of meditation. Samurai warriors drank it before battle to steady their nerves and sustain their endurance. Chinese emperors demanded it at every meal because they believed correctly. As it turns out, that it helped them think more clearly and live longer. 5,000 years of human wisdom all pointing to the same leaf. And yet right now, today, the overwhelming majority of people drinking green tea are getting less than 20% of its actual benefit. Not because the tea is wrong, not because they are doing something dramatically incorrect, but because of one small, overlooked detail that changes everything about how the most powerful compounds in that cup are absorbed into your body. You could be drinking green tea every single morning, faithfully, consistently, believing you are doing something good for yourself, and your body could be absorbing almost none of what makes it worth drinking in the first place. That is not a small thing. That is the difference between a daily habit that is genuinely protecting your circulation, your energy, and your long-term vitality, and a daily habit that is little more than warm green tinted water. Stay with me through this entire video, because by the end of it, you will never prepare your green tea the same way again. And the last addition I'm going to share with you, the one I save for the end, is the one that surprises people the most, including people who have been drinking green tea for decades. My name is Dr. James, and I am a board-certified urologist with 12 years of clinical experience working with men who want to protect their circulation, maintain their energy, and take real control of their long-term health. 12 years. Thousands of patients. Men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Men who came to me not just with clinical concerns, but with a deeper, quieter worry. The worry that their body was slowing down, and there was nothing they could do about it. Most of the time that worry was wrong. Not because their bodies had not changed, they had, but because the changes they were experiencing were often driven by small, correctable daily habits rather than by age itself. And green tea, specifically how people prepare and consume it, is one of the clearest examples I have seen in 12 years of practice of a powerful health habit being quietly, consistently undermined by one missing detail. That detail is what today is about. Before we go further, if you are someone who genuinely cares about protecting your health and getting real science-backed information explained in plain language, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells the platform that this kind of content matters. Drop a comment and tell me where in the world you are watching from. I read every single one and it never stops amazing me how far this community reaches. Now, let us get into science because this is where it gets genuinely fascinating. The foundation why green tea works. Before we talk about what to add to your green tea, you need to understand why it works in the first place. Because once you understand the mechanism, once you see what is actually happening inside your blood vessels, the additions I am going to share will make complete immediate sense. Green tea comes from a plant called Camellia sinensis. Interestingly, it is the exact same plant used to produce black tea and oolong tea. The difference is not the plant, it is the processing. Green tea leaves are heated almost immediately after harvesting, either steamed or pan-fired. That rapid heating stops oxidation and preserves a family of powerful plant compounds called catechins. And among those catechins, one stands above all the others. It is called EGCG, epigallocatechin galate. A name that sounds complicated but has a role inside your body that is remarkably straightforward. EGCG supports something called endothelial function. Your endothelium is the ultra-thin layer of cells lining every single blood vessel in your body from the largest arteries down to the smallest capillaries. Think of it as the command center for your entire circulatory system. When your endothelial cells are functioning well, they release a molecule called nitric oxide, and nitric oxide signals the muscles surrounding your blood vessels to relax and open. Wider vessels mean better blood flow to your brain, your heart, your muscles, your organs, and every system that depends on circulation to function properly. Here's what makes this particularly important. Nitric oxide is fragile. Chronic stress, aging, inflammation, and poor dietary choices all degrade it before it can do its job. EGCG does not just encourage nitric oxide production, it actively protects it from oxidative damage. Biologically, that means your blood vessels stay more flexible and responsive over time. Emotionally, better circulation translates into something you can actually feel: more stable energy, sharper mental clarity, warmer hands and feet, better stamina during daily activity. Practically, it means that a well-prepared cup of green tea is not just a warm drink. It is a direct intervention in one of the most important biological systems in your body. Green tea also contains a compound called L-theanine, which promotes calm, focused mental alertness without the jittery edge that caffeine alone can produce. And it contains a modest amount of caffeine, typically between 30 and 50 milligrams per cup, enough to gently sharpen alertness without overwhelming the nervous system. So the foundation is solid. The science is real. Green tea genuinely works. But here is the problem, and it is a significant one. You are absorbing less than you think. Most people drinking green tea assume their body is absorbing the full benefit of every cup. It is not. Research suggests that in a standard cup of plain green tea, less than 20% of the active EGCG actually enters your bloodstream in a form your cells can use. The rest is broken down and neutralized by the alkaline environment of the digestive tract before it ever reaches circulation. That means for every cup you drink, up to 80% of the most powerful compound in that cup may never reach the cells that need it. 80%. Gone before it does a single thing. And here is what makes this particularly frustrating. People drink green tea faithfully, feel little to no difference, and conclude that the tea simply does not work for them. They switch to something else. They give up on a habit that, prepared correctly, could have been genuinely transforming their health. The tea was never the problem. The preparation was, and fixing it is simpler than you would believe. The additions: what to put in your green tea. Addition number 1, fresh lemon juice. This is the single most important thing you can add to your green tea, and the reason is purely biological. When fresh lemon juice enters the digestive environment alongside green tea, it creates a more acidic condition in the gut. That acidity shields the catechins, particularly EGCG, from the alkaline breakdown that normally destroys most of them before absorption. Research suggests that citrus additions can increase catechin absorption significantly. Some studies indicate several times over compared to plain tea. Biologically, more EGCG reaches your bloodstream. More nitric oxide is produced and protected. More blood vessels relax and open. Emotionally, the shift is subtle but real. More stable energy through the morning, clearer thinking, a body that feels like it is actually responding. Practically squeeze half a lemon into your cup after brewing. That is it. 30 seconds. One of the most impactful 30-second decisions you can make for your circulation every single morning. Addition number 2, raw honey, not processed supermarket honey. Raw, unfiltered honey, the kind that retains its natural enzymes, antioxidants, and plant compounds intact. Pasteurized honey has been heated to the point where most of those beneficial compounds are destroyed. It adds sweetness and nothing else. Raw honey, on the other hand, contains natural antioxidants that support nitric oxide production and actively nourish the beneficial bacteria in your gut. And gut health, something most people never connect to cardiovascular function, plays a surprisingly significant role in how well your blood vessels regulate themselves. Biologically, a healthy gut microbiome supports lower systemic inflammation. Lower inflammation means less damage to endothelial cells. Less endothelial damage means better nitric oxide function. It is a chain, and raw honey supports it at the foundation. Practically 1 teaspoon in your cup. Choose raw and unfiltered. The difference in what your body receives is not small. Addition number 3, fresh ginger. Ginger contains active compounds called gingerols that directly support healthy blood flow and reduce inflammatory activity in vessel walls. Biologically, gingerols help inhibit the compounds that promote vascular inflammation, the chronic low-grade inflammation that stiffens arteries over time and contributes to the circulatory decline most men experience gradually after 40. Practically a few thin slices steeped directly in the hot water before you add the tea bag. The flavor is mild. The effect on your circulation is not. Addition number 4, a small pinch of cayenne pepper. This is the one that surprises people most when I mention it in the clinic, and I understand why. Cayenne pepper in your tea sounds unusual, but the science is straightforward. Cayenne contains a compound called capsaicin, which activates specific receptors in blood vessel walls that promote vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels. When that vasodilation is layered on top of the nitric oxide support green tea already provides, you are supporting circulation through two completely separate pathways simultaneously. Biologically, that is called synergy. Two mechanisms working together to produce an effect greater than either could produce alone. Practically a small pinch, barely enough to see. You will not taste it dramatically, but your blood vessels will respond to it. Addition number 5, cinnamon. Cinnamon supports blood sugar balance, and blood sugar stability is more connected to vascular health than most people realize. Chronically elevated blood sugar damages endothelial cells directly, degrading the very lining that produces your nitric oxide. Cinnamon helps buffer those spikes, reducing one of the most consistent sources of vascular damage in the modern diet. Biologically, more stable blood sugar means less endothelial stress. Less endothelial stress means better circulation. Practically half a teaspoon stirred in. It also improves the flavor of the entire combination significantly. Addition number 6, turmeric with black pepper. And finally, the combination that addresses one of the deepest drivers of vascular aging. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatory compounds in existence. Chronic inflammation is not a background condition to be ignored. It is an active, ongoing process that stiffens arteries, damages vessel walls, and accelerates every aspect of cardiovascular aging. But here's the critical detail most people miss. Curcumin alone is poorly absorbed. Without black pepper, specifically a compound in black pepper called piperine, most of the curcumin you consume passes through your system without entering your bloodstream in meaningful amounts. Add black pepper and absorption increases dramatically. Biologically, curcumin with piperine reduces inflammatory markers throughout the vascular system, protecting endothelial function and slowing the progression of arterial stiffness. Practically, a small pinch of turmeric and a crack of black pepper. Together, always together, one without the other misses the point entirely. The mistakes: what is canceling your benefits? Even with the right ingredients, certain preparation habits can undermine everything. Here are the 5 most common mistakes I see. Mistake number 1, brewing with boiling water. Boiling water damages catechins. The delicate compounds that make green tea worth drinking are heat sensitive, and water at a full boil degrades them before they ever reach your cup. The ideal brewing temperature is around 170 degrees Fahrenheit hot, but not boiling. If you do not have a thermometer, let boiled water sit for 3 to 4 minutes before pouring. That simple adjustment preserves the compounds you are drinking the tea to consume. Mistake number 2, using processed honey. As I mentioned, pasteurized honey is nutritionally hollow compared to its raw counterpart. If you are sweetening your tea with processed honey, you are adding calories and almost none of the vascular benefit that makes honey worth including. Switch to raw and unfiltered. The difference in what your body receives is meaningful. Mistake number 3, skipping the additions. Green tea alone works, but at a fraction of its potential. The additions we discussed are not optional extras. They are the mechanisms that protect, amplify, and multiply what green tea can do for your circulation. Skipping them is like buying a powerful tool and never assembling it properly. Mistake number 4, drinking inconsistently. Consistency is everything. 1 cup daily, prepared correctly, creates far more long-term vascular benefit than several cups consumed sporadically. Your blood vessels respond to steady, reliable support, not occasional intensity. Make it a daily ritual, not a habit. Mistake number 5, expecting the tea to do everything. Green tea is a powerful tool, but it works within a system. Chronic stress, physical inactivity, excessive sugar intake, and poor sleep all undermine the very mechanisms that green tea is supporting. The tea amplifies a healthy foundation. It cannot replace one. Use it as part of a daily approach to your health, not as a substitute for one. The practical routine. Here is exactly how to prepare your green tea for maximum benefit. Simple, clear, and repeatable every morning. Start with high-quality green tea leaves or a quality tea bag. Heat your water to approximately 170 degrees hot, but not boiling. Add a few slices of fresh ginger directly to the water and let them steep for 3 to 5 minutes alongside the tea. Once brewed and slightly cooled, add the juice of half a fresh lemon, 1 teaspoon of raw unfiltered honey, a small pinch of cayenne pepper, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a small pinch of turmeric paired with a crack of black pepper. Stir gently. Drink slowly. 1 to 2 cups per day is more than sufficient. Over time, and this is what my patients consistently report, you begin to notice things. More stable energy through the morning, clearer thinking that does not fade by midday, warmer hands and feet, better stamina during daily activity, a body that feels quietly but unmistakably more alive. Biologically, these changes happen because your blood vessels are becoming more responsive, better supported, less inflamed, more capable of doing what they were designed to do. Emotionally, that translates into something that goes beyond any blood panel or clinical measurement. It translates into confidence, the quiet, grounded confidence of a man who knows he is actively taking care of himself. Before we close, I want to say something directly to the men watching this, who have quietly started to wonder whether it is too late to make a real difference. It is not. Your blood vessels are not fixed. They are living tissue, and living tissue responds to the right conditions. I have seen men in their 60s and 70s make small, consistent dietary adjustments and come back to my office with measurably improved circulation, lower inflammatory markers, and an energy they had convinced themselves was gone permanently. It was not gone. It was waiting for the right support. You did not lose your vitality. You were simply never given the precise information you needed to protect it. That changes today. Aging is not the enemy. Uninformed habits are. Every morning that you prepare your green tea correctly with the lemon, with the ginger, with the additions that protect and amplify what is already inside that leaf, you are sending your body a message that says, I am paying attention. I am showing up for myself. I believe that how I feel tomorrow depends on what I do today. Your body receives that message, and over time it responds. If this video gave you something real and useful, please hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more clinically grounded, honest health content built specifically for men who refuse to accept a diminished version of their lives. Drop a comment and tell me where you are watching from, and tell me which of these additions surprised you the most. I read every single comment. This is Dr. James. You deserve to feel strong. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.